Welcome everybody to Into the Nexus. Today we'll be talking about the latest addition to the Heroes of the Storm roster, the Pyro Mage Kael'thas Sunstrider. So basically with Kael'thas, he's pretty badass. He's one of the new glass cannons, a ranged assassin character for Heroes of the Storm. And I gotta say, I do like him, with the exception of the fact that he doesn't have very good mobility for the current meta. It's very hard for him to escape at times, or at least for me it is. But all in all, I think he's a pretty solid character who does massive amounts of damage, especially when you catch your enemies off guard. Kael'thas basically has quite a few different moves, so let's go through those moves real quick. For his Q ability, he starts off with Flame Strike. Flame Strike, basically what that is he instantly targets a relatively small area on the ground. And after about 2 seconds or so, it explodes and deals damage to basically to anybody within that area. Now the cool thing about Kael'thas is he has another move. It's called the Verdant Spheres. When you activate this ability, it increases the damage or the effect of the next basic spell that you use. So when you use it with Flame Strike, it increases the radius by 50% as well as the damage dealt. So that's actually pretty badass. His W ability is called Living Bomb. Basically with Living Bomb, he puts a damage over time on the target. It ticks for 2 seconds and then explodes and deals damage to not only the target but also the enemies that are nearby it. When you empower this ability with the Verdant Spheres, it basically gives you Living Bomb at no mana cost with no cooldown. So essentially you could just Living Bomb, boom, blow everything up, Living Bomb again. His E ability is Gravity Lapse. Now Gravity Lapse, basically he shoots a straight line shot onward towards, won't say a target, but just towards an area, so hopefully you're trying to hit an enemy at least. It stuns the enemy for about 1.5 seconds, and puts him kind of like suspended in air, so the guy can't move. If you use it with Verdant Spheres, he hits 3 enemies and stuns them instead of the 1 enemy. That's pretty much, the way I look at it, that's pretty much his one escape tool or his one stun move. I don't think it's enough, but if used properly, it could save your ass pretty well. His first heroic ability is Phoenix. Basically, he shoots off a Phoenix at a target location, and the Phoenix deals damage to all enemies that are in its way until it lands. Now, once it lands, it attacks an enemy every, basically, I think it's almost a second. And it deals X amount of damage on all the targets and around the initial target. If you click it again, you can move the Phoenix, but you can only move the Phoenix once. His other heroic ability is my personal favorite, the Pyro Blast. He channels for 2 seconds and then fires a pretty slow fireball, but it's actually a homing missile. So it's gonna follow you, and once it hits the target, it explodes. It deals massive amounts of damage. That's my personal favorite with that character. Again, he's super destructive. He is an absolute badass. Like I said, he's squishy as hell, but all in all, he's really a solid hero, with the exception of the fact that his escape is you know what I mean? Like, if you get caught by characters that do lots of stuns, you know, the Uthers, the characters that do pulls like Stitches and all that stuff, or like the characters that can freeze you in a spot like the Lich King, you're gonna be in a bad situation just because he doesn't have anything extra to survive. It's not like Jaina where she can do Ice Block if you spec into it. The way I look at it is Kael'thas, his one thing is the Gravity Lapse. That's it. And like I said, in the current meta, he doesn't have the mobility, but it doesn't make him a bad hero to use. He's actually a pretty solid badass when it comes to damage dealing. In terms of spec-wise, for his spec, for the first tier, I went with Fell Infusion. Basically, since he's so squishy, I decided that Fell Infusion was best for me. You get 26 health when you activate Verdant Spheres. Since you're constantly activating Verdant Spheres at some point or another, it's not a bad tool to use it to power up your abilities as well as actually get some health back. It's not the best heal, but it's enough to keep you up there, especially if you're playing the character properly and staying in the range. For his level 4 spell, I went with mana tap. Basically, with your flame strike, it gives you 20 mana per killed enemy. So that's not bad, especially when you're doing when you're killing creeps. Drop it on there, boom, kills them all. You get mana back. For the level 7, I went with Fission Bomb. It increases the living bomb's explosion damage by 75%. For the level 10, I went with Pyroblast. As cool as Phoenix is, I just feel like Phoenix is more for siege damage, and there's nothing better for me than blowing somebody up, so I went with the Pyroblast. For another number 13 spell, I went with Chain Bomb. Your living bomb's explosion applies living bomb to enemies. That's actually amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that right there alone is enough to kick some serious ass. Followed by, let's see, Ignite Flame. Basically, your Flame Strike also applies Living Bomb to heroes. And then, to end it off with Presence of Mind. Pyroblast's explosion radius is increased by 50%, and its cooldown by 10 seconds per every enemy hit. Like I said, this character is pretty badass. From a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely give him a 7.5, just because of the fact that he doesn't have the escape ability, but his damage is insane, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big fat thumbs up, hit that like button, and basically subscribe so we can do more videos. Alright, take care, bye bye.